Hey, I'm Caroline.
Or Velma from Scooby-Doo.
And my neighbor made my life hell by listening to loud music every single night. I knew I had to get rid of him.
That's aggressive. He's just listening to loud music and you gotta get rid of him. I mean, it sucks.
I set him up, and now he's in prison.
What?
Let me tell you how I did it.
Okay, let's hear your revenge plan, girl. I want to hear how you did it. How did you get a guy to go to prison?
It all started after I got my promotion at work. Finally, I had enough money to move out of my mom's home and to find my own place. It was a one-bedroom apartment, and I absolutely loved it. But right when I went to bed at midnight, my neighbor started playing loud metal music. Ugh. I waited for 5 minutes, hoping he would turn down the music again, but nothing happened. So I decided to knock on his door. Of course, I was scared, but I had a knife with me, just in case.
What? He's just playing loud music. Why are you bringing a knife with you? This is extreme.
When he opened the door, he looked drunk and smelled like he hadn't showered in months. "What do you want?" he said. "The music is too loud. I can't sleep," I answered. "Oh, I'm feeling so bad for you. Maybe I'll come and pay you a visit later,
Ew, he's so creepy.
What do you think?" he said with a big smile on his face. Then he closed the door and turned the music up even more. Wow, he wasn't just a jerk, but he was also threatening me. I immediately called the police, but all they could do was ask him to turn his music down. But as soon as they left, my neighbor turned his music up again.
He really is a jerk.
I might look like a nice and sweet girl, but you better not mess with me. It took me less than 5 minutes to come up with a plan to destroy this whole man's life. And here's how I did it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Right the next day, when my neighbor entered our building, I left it so he knew I wasn't at home. I had left my apartment door wide open and placed a couple of $1,000s on my table.
You know, just a couple thousands of dollars. How much thousands of dollars do you have just laying around? You're just gonna leave it on your table? Okay.
I knew if my neighbor saw the money, he would go and try to steal it. That's why I planted a video camera into my apartment that would record everything. And I also asked my best friend to overwhelm my neighbor in case he would try to steal the money. Well, everything went as planned, and after my neighbor had picked up the money, my friend threw himself on him and held him down until the police arrived.
She's creative. I'll give her that.
I was there too, and it felt so good to see him being arrested with handcuffs and all. But of course, he knew I had set him up. So when he saw me, he screamed, "It's not over yet! I will come and find you!" However, he shouldn't have said that in front of the police.
Am I a joke to you?
Because when it was time for him to be trialed, he not only received a 2-year prison
6'3", nice.
sentence for burglary and attempted theft, but another 6 months for threatening me. I was so happy that he was locked away, but then something very scary happened. 1 week later, I was walking down a street at night when suddenly the doors of a car right next to me opened with 2 men coming out of them.
No.
I immediately knew they were coming for me.
Was it worth it? Really, just for some loud music? I'm sure there's something else you could do than put yourself in this situation.
So I started running as fast as I could. I hadn't done sports in years, but in college I was in the varsity team, so I knew how to run.
Don't we all know how to run?
And trust me, I ran. For at least 1 minute they were right behind me. But they couldn't keep up and quickly gave up. After I escaped, I immediately called the police, and it took them less than a day to find video camera footage of the car that the 2 men had come out of. The owner of the car was a notorious member of a well-known biker gang. You know, one of those losers that need to drive loud motorbikes to feel important.
She's gotten herself involved with gang members. This has gone horribly wrong.
When the police investigated further, they found out that my old neighbor was well connected to the motorbike gang, and he had ordered them to kidnap me or even do worse. The police said my life was at risk, which is why they brought me into the witness protection program. Now I'm living in a different city with a new identity and a new job. Of course it sucks, because I can't meet up with my family or my old friends anymore. All we can do is talk via video chat. But at least I got justice.
That is not worth it at all?
Because my old neighbor and the 2 bikers that wanted to kidnap me all received life in prison sentences for attempted kidnapping, which means they're locked away forever.
I've literally had neighbors that play loud music and I did not send them to jail for the rest of their lives. This girl is crazy. This is not a fair punishment. They were just playing loud music. Yeah, sure, he's a jerk, but like, life in prison? I think she needs to be life in prison with the dude. Like, they all not okay.
I'm so glad this nightmare is over. And I hope my story was able to illustrate how people create their own hell on earth.
Yeah, like you literally did for yourself. You can't see any of your friends or family anymore.
If my old neighbor had treated me with respect and kept his music down, and if the 2 bikers hadn't tried to kidnap me, none of them would be in prison right now.
She literally thinks this is okay.
Anyway, a big thank you to the police for throwing those losers into prison where they belong. And please, let me know in the comments what you would have done in my situation.
Definitely not what you did, that's for sure. My dad's girlfriend is younger than me? True story.
Hey, I'm Jessica, and
Hi,
3 weeks
Jessica.
ago, my dad told me he had found a new girlfriend named Jenny. I was so
Jenny.
excited for him because after my parents' divorce, he was really depressed.
Ooh, she's excited, but she about to not be happy very soon when she finds out the truth.
It was about time he moved on and found new happiness. But then
Aw,
he dropped a
such a
huge
good daughter.
bombshell. He said Jenny was moving in with us because she couldn't afford to pay rent while she was going to college.
Oof, that's awkward.
My jaw dropped. What? College? I asked my dad how old Jenny was. He said 21. 21? I'm 23. What kind of dad wants to date a girl younger than his own daughter?
How do they have anything in common with each other?
I was so creeped out, but I didn't say anything. I mean, who am I to tell my dad how he should live his life?
Shocked Pikachu painting. That's my face too, just like, Pikachu.
The next day, Jenny arrived at our home with a big suitcase. My dad opened the door and they immediately started kissing.
Maybe they love each other. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But still, gross.
It was so gross I had to look away because Jenny had her hands on my dad's... Ugh.
Oh, me too, girl. I'm puking rainbows as well.
Jenny took a look at her home and said, "Yeah, I guess it's okay for now."
What? What do you mean for now? I guess it's okay. Beggars can't be choosers.
And the next day while eating dinner, she told me, "I'm so glad your dad takes care of me. I could never have a job while going to school. College is really
broke the
hard, you
plate.
know." Ugh, jeez. This made me angry because when I went to college, my dad made me get a part-time job because he insisted I pay him rent. He said it was character building.
Oof! I mean, it is character building, but what a slap in the face to see that he's giving this girl complete opposite treatment.
I never complained because I knew my dad had lots of debt and I wanted to make things easier for him.
She's such a good daughter.
But then Jenny started talking about how my dad bought her a new $15,000 car. And that's when I lost all respect for my dad.
Girl, me
Couldn't
too.
he see that she was only using him for his money? She was rude, self-absorbed, and selfish.
Oh my girls, dad.
I wish my dad would see what she was really like and leave her, but it soon became clear that she was going to stay. For example, she's always asking my dad to take her to...
Sorry, her face.
She talks about how it's the most beautiful island in the world and it would be really romantic, but I know she only wants to take pictures for her Instagram.
Wait. Did the members of Blackpink like her photo? Wait, I need to look at that again. She's famous.
Then there was the time she wore my shirt. I wanted to slap her.
It's just a shirt, but I get it. Like, it's like one thing after another.
I managed to stay polite. I told her, "That's my shirt. Wear it today if you would like, but I need it back, and please wash it first. I'd really appreciate it." But she just laughed and said, "This old rag? I should have guessed it was yours."
Excuse me? Okay, don't do that. I'm joking. Jenny used petty insults. I like the Pokemon reference. I see you. Share my story.
Your dad would never buy me something so cheap. Ugh! She hates me just as much as I hate her.
They look the same.
And I'm pretty certain she
Oh, look at the grumpy cat on the walls. There's so many memes.
uses my body lotion and shampoo too. The really nice, expensive stuff
That's
I
a
order
lot.
online.
She's literally showering in your lotion.
As if my dad's apartment is hers.
I mean, it is.
And maybe it is. I mean, why am I still living here anyway? My job pays me enough to get my own place and my dad doesn't have time for me anymore. So maybe I'm just the annoying adult daughter who won't move out of her dad's home. Maybe Jenny would be nicer if I wasn't living here anymore. Well, that's why I'm searching for my own apartment now. The thought of living on my own was scary at first, but I asked my best friend to move in with me. She said yes, and we're planning to have lots of cool movie nights, and we might even go on some double dates together.
Honestly, I think she'll be happier. Sucks that happened, but you know, I pushed her to be more independent, and she's gonna have a fun time. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you all so much. Stay awesome, stay sweet, and don't forget to be nice to each other. Bye-bye!